if you feel like you're doing everything exactly the way that you feel you should be doing it, you're feeding your body, you're eating regularly, and you're still struggling with binge eating, here is the thing. There's actually psychological reasons, emotional reasons why you're still struggling. And today I'm going to dive a little bit into three of the things that I want you to bring awareness to, because when you bring awareness, you bring clarity. And with clarity, you're able to actually do an informed decision. What is your next step? So stay tuned in this episode. Welcome to Stop Binging and Start Living. And from the title, this is exactly what I'm going to be helping you through this series in this podcast, through nourishment, movement, and mindset. Because when you understand where these habits are coming from and how to actually create a change, a positive change for the long term, you can start living your life today by creating a life free from binge eating. So I am so excited to have you here, and let's dive into today's episode. So, you might have been eating regularly, you feel like you're not dieting anymore, and there's still something that is still making you turn to food. Remember, whenever we turn to food, there's always a reason. Maybe it's a conscious, but very often it can be actually a subconscious reason. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Because the more we create awareness of what is happening, the more you can actually make the proper decision of what is your best next step. Because you don't want to do everything at the same time. Remember, when you try to do it all, you end up doing nothing. So this is why, if you check my last episode, make sure you listen to it if you didn't. The first step to truly help you regarding this binge eating, emotional eating, stress eating, is to really create a healthy relationship with your body, which means feeding your body. It is hard to change our mindset and a relationship with food if our body is starving. Because when you're starving, trust me, can you focus? No. So this is the first step, is actually what I can call nutrition rehabilitation, to actually feed your body, but nourish your body. This is really the first step. However, once you've done that, or if you're curious a little bit about the way that I help my clients, there's emotional reasons, psychological reasons. And I'm diving into three of the most important ones that I see in my private practice. However, there are as well things that you have to talk about with your doctor, maybe with your psychiatrist or with your psychologist. Whatever I'm sharing here is to actually give you more information. However, it does not replace real, focused, personalized information from your own health professional. But let's create more awareness, make sure you have more clarity about what you're going through. So, psychology. Once your body feels safe, once you're eating, you're nourishing, now's the time to actually look into the three things, which is, what are your emotional triggers? What are your limiting beliefs? And what are your self-sabotaging thoughts? Again, we're going to dive into this much more in this podcast and YouTube series. However, you really need to see that, it's not just like a lack of control or a lack of motivation. It's not that. I know you're motivated. I know you tried. However, very often, practice does not make perfect if you're not you're not using the right strategy for you. And here's the thing. There's emotional triggers, limiting beliefs, and self-sabotaging thoughts. So let's look at the emotional triggers. Boredom, stress, anxiety, jealousy, could be joy, it could be so many things. So what happens with the emotional triggers, very often it's actually a learned mechanism. Hear me out. Let's say you were young. Well, we're all young at one point. But let's go back in time. That was something for me. If ever I was stressed or emotional, and let's say, for example, I could not express my emotions, and parents, when the kids are young, they're not really sure what to do, they would feed the kid, right? Soul food, sugar, carbs, ice cream. They do the best, because when you're a child, it's very hard to express your emotions. And what is the one thing that calms us all down? Is food. So there is a learned response when we're younger, that we went through emotional turmoil, and the first thing somebody did, or that we did, we turned to food. So then what happens, the more you repeat that pattern, I'm angry, I eat. I'm stressed, I eat. I'm anxious, I eat. So what happens, your body and your brain, which is like a team of helping you create these coping mechanisms to deal with everyday stressors, it's like, okay, we see this pattern coming over and over again. So every time she's feeling this emotion, she always goes to eat. So let me make it easy for her. I'm going to make this and put it into my inner drive, my operating system. And if it's my operating system, it's going to run in the background. She won't always have to think about it. He won't always have to think about it. It's there. So without you even realizing, the more you keep creating this kind of super highway. It is a super highway. There's an emotion, I turn to food. Texture, flavors, there's many different reasons why people turn to certain foods and not others. So at one point, it just becomes automatic. It becomes stronger than you. It becomes, you have to do it. It's like, like you'd rather like binge eat and get it over with than try to succumb to not binge eating. It's stronger than you because there's a repeated pattern of it became normal. It became your coping mechanism. It became your self-medicating way. So it's not about going to the past and pinpointing like, this is it. This thing that happened with my parents, this thing that happened with school, this thing that happened with this person. That's it. This is where it all started. It's a lot of things. It's an accumulation of things. It's like a snowball effect. So one thing creates another, feeds on another, feeds on another, and it creates like a pattern. So if people say like, I've always been like this. Every time I feel sad, I turn to food. So every time you felt sad in different situations, you turn to food. So it's not who you are, the coping mechanism that you kind of created for survival. Everything is for survival. Everything is for the ease of life. Think about this. If you're driving and you're used to going, to work, sometimes you even have to think about what street did you turn on, where to go. Sometimes you I remember when I used to drive to work and I was like, I don't remember how I got there. I just got there, right? It's so automatic. And binge eating can become automatic as a coping mechanism for an emotional thing. See how it goes like deep down? It's not you lacking willpower or motivation. There's something deeper than that. Number 2, it is your limiting beliefs. This is one thing that once you start nourishing your body, it's also understanding that you go for certain foods because they do have this kind of an aesthetic feeling, like they feel good, but as well, you're going for those forbidden foods. And believing that there's good or bad food will always keep you struggling. There's a lot of programs out there that tell you that, you're going to stop binge eating overnight and all these, crazy claims. And then when I go and research, they're teaching keto, they're teaching intermittent fasting, they're teaching carb cycle, they're teaching all this stuff. It doesn't actually help you create a healthy relationship with food. I'd rather know how to work with those foods. Like, I don't want to cut Nutella from my life. I don't want to cut cakes. I want to go to a birthday and have a birthday cake. Like, I don't want that to define who I am and what I can eat or cannot eat, because there are no good foods or bad foods. And that is one of the big limiting beliefs that we have to work through. Because you're not going after a carrot or piece of chicken. You're going for something specific. And the only bad foods that there are, because there are some bad foods, it's foods you're allergic to. Other than that, there's nothing bad with ice cream. There's nothing bad with fast food. There's nothing bad with chips. What is bad is what everyone is telling you to keep you in this never-ending dieting roller coaster. I've never cut all those foods from my life. My clients do not cut all those foods from their life because, remember, it's stop binging and start living, not keep dieting for the rest of your life. So that is limiting beliefs. These beliefs of thinking there's good food and bad food keeps us stuck with struggling with binge eating, right? So food reintegration is very important of those trigger foods. And the third thing that I want to kind of dip my toes a little bit and keep it really more in depth for future episodes is self-sabotaging thoughts. Let me give you some examples. I think that's the easiest way of explaining it. So you might be like getting on this, working with a coach or doing some kind of work. Then you're not seeing the results, like the overnight results. You're like, oh, I tried before. It's not working now again. It's never going to work for me. You're already like deflating the balloon before even starting to create a change. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see my big smile. You're letting the scale define your success. You're deciding the scale to define your worthiness. You step on the scale and it changes your whole day. Then you're like, oh, I'm doing all this work. Look at this. My weight is not changing. This is not working. Remember, we're working on stopping the binging. Stopping binge eating and losing weight do not go hand in hand. When you're focusing on binge eating, you're focusing on bringing those frequencies down, creating healthy relationship with your food, relationship with your body. This is where to stop binging. But when you go into weight loss, you want it to weigh yourself. Again, the all or nothing, the dieting, binge eating cycle. This is why one of the most important things is get that scale out of the house. If you're comfortable, just say. And the third thing, it's been a week and you're like, oh, I still binge ate. This is not working. This has failed. You got to be patient with yourself. You have to think, how long have you been struggling with binge eating? So you're struggling with it. I have clients that have been struggling with it for 40 years. And I'm like, it's not going to take 40 years to change it. It's not going to take 4 weeks to change it. It's a journey. It's a journey of nourishing your body, creating a shift of your emotional triggers, your limiting beliefs, and your self-sabotaging thoughts. And then the third thing is actually your social environment. It's actually a transformational journey of discovering who you truly are without this binge eating and creating a new life beyond the binge eating. So this is why when we sometimes have all these like goals that are so fast, like I'm going on vacation for 4 weeks and I need to lose the weight, I need to stop binge eating. You're putting so much anxiety on yourself. What happens when you're anxious? Emotional trigger, we eat. But if you give yourself patience and love and compassion, and this is what we need, to say, you know what? Enough is enough. I need to give myself time to get through this because it goes deeper than just lack of motivation and lack of willpower. It goes deeper than, you failed a diet or you ate a cookie. You can eat a cookie every day. Are you sitting down? Are you enjoying it? Are you savoring it? Yeah, all good. If you're eating a box of cookies every day, this is where the emotional eating is coming in. What's happening? Where's the pain? Where's the hurt? So I hope this kind of opened up that even if we're kind of eating the way that we think we should be eating and everything is like, perfect, but there's no perfection, right? It's balance. There's no perfection in eating in any shape or form, but there's the emotional triggers, limiting beliefs, and self-sabotaging thoughts. And you cannot work on those emotional triggers if you're starving. So you see, it's really like a triad of things that kind of, they weave in together to help you create this change. But the most important thing on this journey, and that you're going to see in this episode, is we're focusing on, we're going to stop binging to start living, and then we can go on to the next goal. If ever you have any digestive issues, you have any like medical issues, we always take that into consideration. That's why you have to talk to your health professional. But we really want to take care of the one that you're struggling with the most. And binge eating and weight loss do not go hand in hand. Trust me. The day that I decided I was done binge eating, the day I said, I don't care about the weight anymore. I just want to stop this. There was so much pain behind it. I knew weight loss was not going to change anything. I wanted to be done and over with the binge eating. And I did it. And then my body readjusted, not because I pushed it, because I fed it and I took care of it. And I made sure my mindset was aligned and healthy, and as well created a shift in my environment. It's a transformational journey to stop binging and start living. And it's an exciting journey, but it's a patient journey. So I hope you enjoyed today's episodes. Again, if you find this is something that is valuable to you, if you think somebody else would benefit from it, please share it with them. My aim is to really reach the masses. There's so much bad information out there. And I think with my expertise as a dietitian, NLP coach, and yoga and mindfulness teacher, I really want to make sure we get the right information to all the people that need the support. And as well, it would mean the world to me if you can give me an amazing rating, if you subscribe to my channel. And as well, if you're on YouTube, give me a like, share in the comment below what you like from today's session. And remember, a new episode every single week. So my name is Dina Merhbi, and I wish you a beautiful and a balanced day. And I'll catch you in the next episode.